Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter. Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Goldilocks Global Banking News. I'm your host. Folks, today Goldilocks is sharing information that will have a direct impact on the value of the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese Dong. There are statements being made by the chairman of the Commodities Future Trade Commission and what they're doing that has a profound effect on all currencies, not just the dong and the dinar. See, it is commodities that will back our currencies in the new digital banking system that will provide the new real rates to secure the strength and value on the new rates. Let's jump right into what Goldilocks is sharing today. Again, commodities. Commodities, folks, what are they? Gold, silver, precious metals, agricultural products, farm products, that is, corn, wheat, so forth and so on. You know those products that Vietnam is trading heavily? United States is trading heavily, country to country. The chairman of the Commodities Future Trade Commission, which is a global agency, folks. The statement says the acting chair, Caroline Pham, just so happens to be Vietnamese, on September the 4th, outlines the CFTC's unified agenda, emphasizing a return to core priorities. So what this is going to express is how the Commodities Future Trade Commission, which is what is utilized to back our currencies, is taking on realigning themselves in preparation for the value of all assets to go up. The chairman spoke and said the agenda aligns with President Trump's executive orders, focusing on promoting market integrity and liquidity in commodity derivative markets, which are vital for American growers, producers, farmers, merchants, and other commercial end users to manage business risks and support U.S. economic growth. Why is this so important? Where did Vietnam come to a few months ago and signed all of these multi-billion-dollar deals with our farmers? Came to the United States, the state of Kansas, the state of Ohio, Maryland, and other states to sign these deals with farmers. What will back our currencies? The commodities. Where are those commodities? A lot of them located on farms. Did you know that farm products will back our currencies? Those are commodities, folks. Those products trade in the open markets. The chairman highlights that the withdrawal of proposed regulations from recent years that impose excessive costs do not align with the CFTC's mission. Folks, they're removing barriers that will enable more countries to use our commodities and for us to use theirs, going into the new digital banking system where our currencies will be exchanged. Additionally, the chairman notes ongoing efforts to address and revise unworkable Dodd-Frank rules. Haven't you heard about that before? And this aims to regulate, to correct the regulatory overreach and streamline rules 15 years after their implementation. What this means is that the old, inundated system that was going to utilize our commodities in the RV, new regulations are now being imposed. A joint statement came out, Goldilocks is sharing, between the SEC and the chairman of the CFTC. The statement provided suggests a push for regulatory cooperation to foster innovation in crypto and blockchain technology, with an emphasis on harmonizing frameworks. Folks, our currency exchanges will be done in the new digital banking system. What is the new digital banking system? A blockchain. So this approach could indeed have implications for synchronizing the banking system with capital markets, particularly in context of digital assets and blockchain-based systems. Remember those digital asset regulations that Congress passed that President Trump was pushing for? The Genius Act, the Crypto Clarity Act. Now we see the synchronization of the global agencies that will utilize those regulations to back the new banking system where our currencies will be exchanged. It'll do several things. It'll harmonize regulatory frameworks, meaning between the agencies. Often, folks, within government agencies, Federal Reserve, CFTC, SEC, you know how it is with these agencies. They don't communicate, exchange nothing, no information. This is an electronic way where everything is synchronized amongst them, collectively, in the new banking system. It'll be leveraging authorities amongst each other. Sort of an all hands on deck approach to the new banking system where our exchanges will occur. This will be a collaborative effort of products, of banking platforms, integrating banking systems and infrastructures collectively. It's a total synchronization amongst agencies and banks to leave no stone unturned. By fostering this innovation, the U.S. could lead in developing integrated financial systems where banks and markets will be on unified ledgers. For example, Goldilocks is stating, where tokenized assets like real estate or bonds could be traded on markets and settled instantly via the blockchain. In summary, Goldilocks is adding, the proposed regulatory approach could significantly advance synchronization between the banking systems and capital markets. Folks, this will have a direct impact on the value of currencies. The Raki dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and other currencies around the world, because they'll be backed by commodities. The convergence of securities and non-securities markets is driving a need for closer coordination between these agencies. The harmonizing their regulatory frameworks can unlock significant opportunities, folks, in the financial markets. Goldilocks is also stating and showing regarding the Vietnamese Dong that it has evolved from a symbol of post-war economic struggle to a relatively stable currency in a fast-growing Vietnamese economy. While though it faces challenges like dollarization and limited global use, Vietnam's strong economic fundamentals and proactive monetary policies provide a foundation for gradual improvement to the Vietnamese Dong and its value. The Dong's future development, Goldilocks is stating, will hinge on Vietnam's ability to deepen financial reforms, embrace digital innovation, and navigate global economic uncertainties. So Goldilocks wants to end by asking you a question. The question is, where are we? Ask yourself, where are you related to this investment? Where are you related to exchanging your currency? Goldilocks is stating that we are currently looking to regulate, standardize protocols for digital assets. This is the final push for legalization. The regulations are already here. Now it's just implementing them into the new digital banking systems, or the new digital banking system itself, where currency exchanges will occur. Goldilocks is stating this will allow banks and markets to operate on shared blockchain networks. Such synchronization would enhance interoperability and data sharing between the banking systems, folks. Just imagine, you go into exchange your dinar, your dong, or whatever currency you hold. In the country, let's just use Vietnam, for example. You go into exchange your dong. You go into exchange your dinar. I did say dong, but I want to talk about dinar too. The dinar is governed by the Central Bank of Iraq. The dong by the Central Bank of Vietnam. Just imagine you go into exchange your currency at whatever bank you choose. And that bank where you exchange your currency, that you're going to exchange your currency, does not have a link or connection to the Central Bank of Iraq or to the Central Bank of Vietnam. How is your currency going to be exchanged? Don't react to come up with an answer. I want you to think. If your currency that you will go to exchange, the country, the central bank that governs that currency, there has to be a communication between the bank, let's say the U.S. There has to be a communication between the bank in the U.S. that you go to exchange and the bank from which that currency comes from. So if you're in Iowa, Chicago, Maryland, Florida, Texas, California, you name whatever state, city, wherever you're located, you're going to exchange your currency. And that bank has no direct connection to the Central Bank of Iraq or the Central Bank of Vietnam. How would your currency, how would your dinar, your dong, or whatever currency be exchanged? Don't come up with some reactive answer with which you think is the answer, which what you would hope was the answer, which you would expect. This must be the answer because no, doesn't work like that in the banking system. Either it is or it is not the answer. There's no in between. There's no gray areas. 1 plus 1 equals 2. There's no gray. You go to exchange your currency. The bank where you exchange at must have a direct line of communication with the central bank of whatever currency you hold, and there must be regulations between them that they are governed by and will operate under. So that when there is the click of the button of your exchange, there's an electronic communication direct to that bank for where that currency is. Folks, because your currency, every last note has a serial number. And when it goes into the banking system for you exchange, it's flagged. The U.S. Department of Treasury has an account, meaning that every currency that any one of us has purchased is accounted for. So when the Commodities Future Trade Commission and all these banks are now synchronizing around the world, it provides a seamless line of communication and transactions in the new banking system. See, many of you probably are not aware of how in-depth and what goes on behind the scenes, what is needed to occur to lead up to the exchange, any exchanges in the new banking system. Did you know in the new banking system that the exchanges that will occur is no different than the exchanges that occur right now? Only difference is the amounts and higher rates. Folks, exchanges happen every day. Forex is a multi-trillion-dollar business whereby currencies are traded electronically daily in the trillions of dollars. No, not at no bank teller window. I'm talking about major wealth management firms, institutions, traders, trillions daily in Forex. 24/7, 365. It is an industry that never sleeps. You have currencies that are all over the world in multiple time zones, on multiple platforms in those time zones. So when it is 9 a.m., wherever you're located, it's 6 p.m., 7 p.m., somewhere else. When it's 9 p.m., 10 p.m., your time, the markets are open for currency exchanges at 9 a.m. in other countries. So when you go to sleep, they're up. When they go to sleep, you might be awake. And our markets, you flip them around, it's constant movement of currencies, 24/7 exchanged on the water. So understand what Goldilocks is stating today. The synchronization of these banks with commodities backing them is now underway. So much is happening on a daily basis. Just continue to stay grounded, stay focused. Try not to allow yourselves to have too many of those glasses of spirits from anxiety Don't allow yourselves to be on that roller coaster consistently. It's not good for your health. Make sure you do what's necessary to stay grounded and stay in the truth so that you can make it to the end to this blessing and receive your reward. Be well, folks. We love you. Ciao.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.